Hickok 45. I was in Molot over in Russia this past weekend, and you can see what I brought back with me on the airplane. You believe that? Didn't think you would. Actually, thanks to NC Silencer, who supports us, we have a VEPR 12 suppressed, and it's also SBR, stands for a short barreled rifle, as most of you know now. So let's see if it will shoot, okay? Oh, we have a target rich environment. Well, let's just take advantage of it. Oh, let's not shoot that thing yet. Oh man, that was a double lot. Thanks to Federal, we appreciate that. And we have some slugs, thanks to Federal. And we'll have to tell you about the slugs. Okay, what needs to be slugged? How about that big thing of water down there? Take care of that. See if we can hit a 2-liter. We did. Let's try this watermelon. Whoa! Let's smoke a pot. All right. Let's try another 2 liters. Pow, pow, pow. Oh man. Ooh, makes short work of that, doesn't it? Yeah, man, this is an amazing thing. It looks like an AK. I wonder why, because it is based on an AK and an RPK. And I'll tell you a little bit about that, what little bit I do know about this thing. They've been out a while. This one is a little unique, though, in that it is an SBR. And it's just a little different. So it's got a different rail on it, too, here, chaos. So you could create some chaos with this, can't you? So it's a little different in that regard. But let's take a look at it here before it gets too hot. Not the weather, the firearm. Because when you shoot them, they get warm. How'd that magazine get over there? Somebody threw it over there, didn't it? Okay, little polymer mags. Yeah, these are interesting. And notice we've got a red dot. I put a red dot on a Hollow Sun. That's I think it's kind of a new company. I don't know. A fellow up at Clarksville Arms and Archery made me bring it home. I was up there the other day. Appreciate that. He said, just try it. It's, I don't know, kind of a poor man's aim point, but so far it's worked pretty well. Thought I'd stick it on that rail, which is polymer, by the way. So hopefully that holds up okay. But this is not our firearm. Again, that's NC Silencer. And it is, if you're not familiar with these, and we're clear, of course, it is very, very AK-like. It's based on the AK and the RPK. You know, it opens up like that. I'll go ahead and do that maybe. Let's see. Let's close. You can close it with this little bolt release right there by the trigger. Push down on that, and it's on a hinge. If you're not familiar with these, that's pretty cool. And then you pull the spring out, pretty much the same way as an AK, and the bolt, piston, and there you go. So that's pretty familiar, isn't it? I would take the gas tube off it, but I take some screws out because of this rail replacement here that this one has. I won't go into that right now. As I understand, these things are made a little bit heavier than the standard AK. They're more like the RPK, the way they open, a little more beef to them, and you know, it's for 12 gauge. That makes sense. And you can see the controls are a little different there than your standard AK. You've got this gizmo here, which I'll show you when we get her back together. So your bolt is kind of a 2-piece there, a rotating bolt, and your piston's a little different. There's a separate piece up here which I can't show you unless I take that off, but it's a little different, but not dramatically. And I'll go ahead and line that up. It's a rotating bolt. I think that's part of the reason this firearm its claim to fame is supposed to be that it will fire a wide range of ammunition. And I think it does generally, okay? Now, since this one is an SBR, has a shorter barrel, that doesn't hold as true, okay? So just be aware of that. We could have some malfunctions. In fact, we've had some with some different ammo. It takes warmer ammo with this one because the barrel is just right there. That's the end of the barrel. And the suppressor is an older suppressor. It's a Kay's Gun Works. This, I think, was out before the Silencer Co. Salvo. This is an older shotgun suppressor, maybe one of the first or the first. It's not as effective, and particularly on this short barrel, but it helps a little bit. Okay, so since we had it and they have it, we thought we'd show you that. We could take it off, I guess, and we might just go ahead and do that while we're at it. It's a little warm, it's not too bad. And it does make it a lot longer, that's for sure. Let me over this edge here. It's fine thread, so I'm gonna be careful with it. This is a kind of a competition, I guess, for the Saiga, however you pronounce it, the Saiga 12, and considered, I think, by a lot of people to be a better shotgun of the AK variety format. You might disagree. I'm not really too sure. I've never had a Saiga shotgun. We had a couple of people offer. We just never have gotten to them. But this one, I think, is supposed to be a bit of an improvement. Okay, put this flash hider back on. It does not have an adjustable gas system. It's self-regulating. And what else? The magazine does not, rock in there like a typical AK magazine. If you notice, when I replace that, it just goes straight in like an AR mag. Now it releases the same way. So that's one of the big differences there. And the gas system is similar. Like I say, it's self-regulating. Put that on. Okay. And again, I've not had the Saiga 12, but I think the controls are a little bit different on this one as well. Sure, there's something about the bolt there I was going to mention. It's probably a lie, so it's okay, I forgot it. All right. Okay. And I shot it when we first, tried to shoot it. The rear sight seemed awfully low already, and it needed to be lower to hit where I wanted to hit with slugs. So I was really glad that I walked into that Holosun, because we're always short of aim points whenever we get a gun in. Lots of times there's nothing on it in terms of a sight, or there's a nice rail, and I might like to try one on it, and I hate to take it off of another firearm because I've got it sighted in, how that goes. But so this one here, we can move around a little bit and try it out. So it's a pretty good little sight picture on it. I mean, if you know anything about it, if you've had one, you might think they're junk. It might be junk. So far, it seems pretty good. Okay, so the rifle, again, much like an AK. One of the other advantages of this one is when you shoot your last round, you probably already noticed it locks back, locks the bolt back, and it stays back when you take the magazine out and you replace it, put another one in. Okay, so that's kind of nice. We all would like that with our AKs, wouldn't we? And a huge advantage there. It feels really well made. It's extremely solid. There's some disadvantages and there's some negatives for sure. This is the stock release. I mean, that thing is stiff, really stiff. Remember that here, it kind of locks in. And there's a short rig right there. How's that? For a 12 gauge with 8 rounds or more if you have a higher capacity magazine for it. But these mags are 8 rounds and they seem pretty long to me. Boy, that is stiff. Okay, and then your controls are a little different. You notice this is your bolt release right here. Push up on that and it'll pull the bolt. Then your safety, typical AK style, but you've got this extra flange down here. And the way it's designed to be used, I think, is you flip it off with your finger or your knuckle. It's pretty much in position there for me to kind of hit with my knuckle or finger. Same thing over here. If it's not on, you can push it on. I think you can even, no, you can't pull it off. Take more strength than I've got, or else it just doesn't. No, it'll work, but not with your thumb unless it loosens up a great deal. The only problem I've got with all that is these sharp edges. I mean, that I just don't like. Me, it's one of the reasons I like Glocks, because they're not very busy. You can rub your hand down that thing 10 times and not scratch yourself with a Glock. With this, you're going to have cuts and bruises and everything else. That's just kind of in the way. It hits on your finger, and if you're firing some high recoiling ammo, I just don't like that stuff. That one down there too, just doesn't feel good at all. And that's, an AK, generally speaking, and I call it an AK because it's like an AK. They're just kind of big guns. They're not light, but they work and they're really reliable. So a lot of people on this planet, as we all know, millions, put up with an AK because they're so darn reliable. It's been around forever, and they're extremely reliable, a little heavy, shoot a nice cartridge though, and they work. So we put up with that, and I like them myself. You know I do. I have 2 arsenals. I really like the AK. This thing is just kind of heavy. It's fun to shoot though, I'll say that. Let's shoot it before we put the, well, since we've got the suppressor off, let's load up and shoot it. It's a little ungainly. Let's see, now we're going to try, yeah. We're shooting a double-aught buck. This is frangible. Ammo is 2 3/4. We have some 3-inch double-aught buck from Federal, but we were having some trouble with it. This is chambered for 3-inch, but that stuff, boy, it's got a wallop to it. It's powerful stuff, and it was blowing the magazine out. It hit the ground and rounds coming out. It happened twice, and I was firing some 2 3/4 along with it, the first 3 rounds, and then we put that 3-inch stuff in there. The magazine blew out. So at least on this one, it doesn't like a really hot 3-inch double-aught buck. Okay, so I'll give you a clue on that. The other thing we discovered is that there was slugs, and I think it's because of the short barrel. It's just not stabilizing them. And I worked and worked. I went through literally 50 slugs sighting in the red dot, because I thought, well, I'll sight it in for the slugs and it'll be fine for anything else we shoot, of course. Well, I thought I was just a real amateur, because I worked this morning on that thing, and I bench rested kinda, and paper, and they were just, I got this pretty well adjusted, but they were still going in some weird places, you know. And I was having a hard time seeing the hits on the paper, where they weren't clear, whether it was the wad or the slug. And come to find out, what it really was the slugs were tumbling or something. So the barrel is too short to stabilize them, I think is what it is. So we're getting some weird reactions with that. So just be aware if you get a short barrel in one of these. On the longer barrel, I wouldn't expect that problem, because if you've been around looking at our silly videos very long, you know that one of the things that we do a lot of is shoot slugs and demonstrate the accuracy of them. You know, just out of a smooth bore shotgun barrel, any old shotgun barrel. All right, so let's play a little more with this thing. All right, one in. Let's see, this will be easy on the paper target, won't it? I'll just put maybe 1 on. Our safety's off. Put another one on there. Okay, so there ought to be some hits somewhere on it. What else do we have? We have several things. A pot that needs smoking. Let's do a speed reload. Okay, a slow motion speed reload. I'll keep the magazine in my pocket. Pop the other one in. Release the bolt. Shoot again. Knocking me around a little bit. I didn't have a good footing. We just have 2 mags. They do hold 8. And oops, sight popped up. Get a little jump out of it, I'll have to say. Again, it's a little bit lighter with a short barrel. It's fun to shoot, but it wants to hit. Well, you can see. You can kind of see on my hand. It's made a little mark there. I might cry if I get a boo-boo there, but it's banging me right there. Okay, so it's not real smooth to shoot. Pretty cool. What else about it that I wanted to tell you? It has a good history. They're supposed to. It has a good reputation, generally speaking. You'll find negatives about them, but most of the reviews I've read, comments I've read, people are pleased with it, the quality of it, and the operation of it. And most people indicate that it will function a wide variety of ammo. Again, because this one is an SBR, don't necessarily experience that. Okay, not at all. So you got your typical, AK type sights or RPK. You got a rail instead of a side mount for an optic there. Okay, so you got a rail, and I guess most people probably rather have a rail. I don't know. I've never put an optic on an AK, So I'm not sure about those side mount rails and all that. An AK is a big old gun and kind of busy anyway, and I really prefer not to have extra stuff on it, you know. So this little aim point is pretty small. That's one thing I like about it. So that's pretty cool. But it is an AK. It has AK heritage, made in Russia. You know, I was not really over there in Molot, and I didn't pick it up, as I tried to make you believe earlier. But anything that's made in Russia and is AK-like ought to be pretty good, right? At least we think it would be. All right. Let's shoot a couple more times here. Anything left? These be sorted out. Let's see what the spread's like on that Cowboy. Okay, again, there's your mag release, or your bolt release. And there's your safety. Okay, so you could carry it like this, be low ready position, pop off the safety, engage Mr. Cowboy, then Mr. Other Cowboy, or the Tombstone, there you go, or the Coffin, or a plate. Let's see how fast we can shoot it. Or, yeah, I started to say how fast it will shoot. It will probably shoot as fast as you can. All right, let me get a good footing here, and I'll just put some on that barrel. I think it will shoot as fast as you can operate the trigger, but it does punch you. I don't know, it seems like it punches you harder than like my Benelli, you know, my Super 90. This is my impression, which is one of the things I wanted to point out. This is cool. You know, you got magazines, interchangeable magazines. You don't have a tubular magazine. It's a cool gun. I just really enjoy opportunities to try these things out and see what I think about them and tell you what I think about them, and just show the firearm. But you know, I've got to say, this is my 870, Remington 870, and if you told me tomorrow or today, right now, I've got to walk across that hill and there's going to be some zombies coming after me, or something trying to get me, and here you can take one of these shotguns, guess which one I'm going to take? I'm going to take this one right here. I mean, oop, I just racked around that. An empty round. Maybe I shouldn't. I double fed it. Okay. This gun, notwithstanding my initial problem there, this is, to me, much more practical, ergonomic. If I'm shooting, I fire a couple of times, bam, bam. You know, I can be topping it off as I move, racking another. You know, it's just very ergonomic, and it holds 7 or 8 rounds. You know, how many rounds you're going to need in a shotgun, unless you're really in combat? So I just prefer this. So a gun like this, my Mossberg, the Super 90 would be my choices. If you're looking at buying a shotgun and you don't have a lot of experience with a shotgun, don't be misled by the cool factor. It is cool. There's a cool factor with this thing, no doubt about it, and it's fun to shoot. But if you want a good all-around shotgun, you don't have to go. Let me load her one more time. You don't have to go for something like this in order to have a really effective shotgun. I think new shooters sometimes think that they're just not going to be really combat ready or tactically prepared fully as much as the next guy if they don't have the most modern and the most I don't know, up-to-date, you know, firearm. And again, it tends to work. You get the right ammo in it, but still, it's a big old heavy, kind of an ungainly thing, and would not be my first choice. You release that. It's got so many busy controls on it that want to cut you, that want to hurt you. And but yeah, you can get used to it, of course, and you know, it could become a part of you, and it will work. It will work. Let's shoot us some more here. Safety off. Propane tanks. Yeah. Took them down. Oh, there's a pan that hasn't been addressed adequately. Click. Okay, we had a click. And we have ammo left. It didn't pick one up apparently. We'll give it a second. Not to bash it. It's a cool firearm, and it's going to work most of the time. The thing is, you know, like whatever happened here, I don't know, we didn't pick a round up or something. We know how automatic, semi-automatics can be. They can be a little bit finicky at times, and especially with shotgun ammunition. And of course I short shucked, or I messed up the pump there just getting started, but generally I don't do that, and they tend to work. So let's see what we got here. Yeah, we got a round in there. Let's see if that one. Okay. Okay. This is just a bad round, maybe. Huh. Firing pin hasn't touched it. So, well, maybe just barely. Just barely. That primary, almost see a little dimple. So anyway, it's like I planned that or something, right? So anyway, pretty cool gun, especially in SBR format. You can't hate that because it's so short and handy, but it's still kind of ungainly for me. But if you're not familiar with the VEPR 12, that's it. Okay, it's, you know, kind of the AK version, and according to what I've read, a little more desirable than the Saiga 12 to most people. Again, because of the advantages that you have, the bolt lock back and those sorts of things. Supposedly will fire a wide range of ammunition. As I said, if you got the long barrel, I think you'd have more success with that. So pretty cool gun. I'm pleased to be able to fire the thing. We appreciate all the support we get from NC Silencer, Federal, and especially budsgunshop.com. Check the links in the description, and you'll see links to all those places. So, well, when you got a 12 gauge, though, life is good.